Addressing the current epidemic was at the top of the mind this week for the 400 or so attendees at the second annual Arizona Opioid Summit. They range from community advocates to law enforcement and treatment specialists. During the summit, I spoke to Dr. Bennett Davis, the pain program director at Sierra Tucson. He explained how widespread opioid use has ties to what he calls the trauma epidemic.
What we've realized is a lot of people with chronic pain are really people who have depression, anxiety, and have a history of trauma that has kind of changed the way their nervous system works, so that they have back pain, they have headaches, they have pain all over, but they really don't have anything wrong with their back or tissues that would explain that. They have a nervous system that, because of trauma in their past, is amplifying all the feelings to their brain and telling their brain pain, 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 when there's really nothing we can fix in the tissues.
How are we defining trauma?
In the context of what we're talking about, trauma would be life-threatening events, events that a person perceives as threat to life and limb, either one major one or multiple over time. And it can be to one's own self, or it can be witnessing things. Even in pain clinics, even in addiction medicine clinics, typically we haven't been screening for trauma. Now we're just starting to do that, and we're saying, oh my gosh, and we're doing research on people who struggle, and we're finding that 15–20% of them have severe trauma. So this is sort of the mind-body connection taken to a new level. We're talking more about what exactly does that mean, mind-body. What it means is our experiences can actually change our biology, particularly experiences during childhood, particularly traumatic experiences. I'll give you a statistic. People who have a pretty good dose of developmental trauma, childhood trauma, on average will live 20 years less than an average American. They die 20 years earlier. So it's lethal. And I'm not talking about suicide, I'm not talking about high-risk behaviors such as smoking. When you take those out of the picture, they have a shorter lifespan. Why? Because their biology has changed. They just won't survive as long.
Is this problem about to get worse or more prevalent?
I don't think it'll get worse. I think we might have seen the worst of it. Again, in the context of the opioid epidemic, we tried an experiment. We didn't know we were doing it. As opioids were marketed as good for chronic pain, aggressively, as we all know, over-aggressively, right? As that was going on, a lot of healthcare providers were prescribing opioids when a patient said, I hurt, and continuing it. Mixed in with that population were a lot of these traumatized people who realized, okay, opioid makes me feel better for now, kind of numbs me out, and I'm going to keep taking it. And a lot of them don't have, by the way, addiction disorders. So we accumulated all these people, millions of people, getting opioid for psychological issues. So opioid sort of is a psychological psychotropic medication, like an anxiety or depression medication. And people hearing this will go, wow, that was a bad idea if we really did that. But we did, and now we're digging ourselves out of that.
Special agent in charge of the Phoenix Division for the Drug Enforcement Administration, Doug Coleman, says Arizona's proximity to the border contributes to the state's problem.
So I think that we're more at risk because we're looking at the Sinaloa cartel every day, and we're the first stop for all the drugs coming in.
For years, heroin represented one of the most dangerous and deadly drugs in Arizona. Then fentanyl numbers grew. Last year, law enforcement in Arizona seized 219 pounds of it, quadrupling the 2016 figures. Fentanyl is a synthetic opioid used to treat severe pain, oftentimes in cancer patients. It can be up to 100 times more potent than morphine.
The cartels have now realized that we're looking for the fentanyl, so they're changing the products up. We see fake fentanyl, we see fentanyl that's designed to look like OxyContin that's being sold out there, fake fentanyl that's designed to look like Xanax. We've seen some of those. So what happens is people are taking these products, and sometimes they take the product and they don't even realize they're taking fentanyl. And so they're taking these products and they're dying. And again, fentanyl, remember, 50 to 100 times stronger than morphine. It doesn't take much to kill somebody with fentanyl, and unfortunately people are getting caught up in this and getting addicted to it, and then taking something that, that a doctor will tell you it doesn't take much to put you down, unfortunately.
And there are people who are upset with law enforcement saying, why can't you take this stuff off the streets?
Yeah, I mean, and that's part of the reason that we're having this conference here today, right? Law enforcement is a piece, and we're doing everything that we can, but treatment, addiction services, prevention, those are all incredibly important. If we can lower the number of people that we have that are addicted to these substances, then we lower the demand, and we lower the amount that the Mexican cartels will produce, right? It all comes back to that. The less people that want it, the less they'll produce. They're all about making money. They're making so much and pushing so much across now because they're making a boatload of money behind it because we have so many people that are addicted to these substances.